wants you to be with that person. Never a command, but a desire. Therefore, comes to knowing what God wants for you. You must be close to desires, because God would never force you to be with someone. And if you desire other things in life, like schooling, your career, the business, the ministry, someone else is outweighing your desire to be with that specific person, this is a sign God is not calling you to be with that person. Your relationship is something that fades over time when God does not want you to be with that person. Every day can't be filled with laughter. Eventually, gravity starts winning the war on all our bodies. Wrinkles, money gets spent, weight is gaining, social goals is changing, and your career is changing, and the youthful desire always dwindles. Therefore, it's safe this man and a woman to marry one another. Their relationship will be built on a deeper love for one another and the type of superficial interest in relationships. Attraction, laughter, and having fun together is not bad things. You should like to be with that person what God has for you. But when there's not a deeper love filled with commitment, this is a sign God does not want you with that person. 1 Corinthians is to her husband as long as he lives. True love will always be based on enduring foundation. And number 3, you feel further and further from Christ the closer you become with that person when God does not want him and her. A godly relationship is a joyful gift. We must remember that everything from God is ultimately meant to enhance our walk with him. Satan, however, wants us to pursue those things will hurt our walk with God. And this truth are really important when it comes to relationships. You know when God is behind the relationship or when Satan is behind the relationship, based on how this relationship is affecting your connection to Christ. And if you feel more and more distance from God, the closer you get with that person, this is a sign God does not want you in that relationship. Ephesians 3 verses say that you being with all the words of people to grasp how wide and how long and how high and deep the love of Christ. And know this knowledge, so that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. And number 4, you will feel divided in yourself. Does not want you to be with. It's a sign that you're with the right person when God is using a relationship to bring the true self out even more. Likewise, it's a sign that God does not want you to be with someone when this relationship is causing you to deny who you really are. And Nathan Hawthorne wrote, "Romance for every considerable period can wear one face to himself and another to a multitude, without getting wildered as to which may be the truth." And when you wear a mask to be with a person, it's a sign God does not want you to be with that. Ephesians 24 states, "You were taught with regard to off your old self, which is being corrupted by deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your mind, and to put on a new self, created to be like God in true and holiness." When you're in a relationship God does not want you to be in, and you then see a healthy Christian relationship, you would say, "I wish I had that." And God will often show us what we could have to motivate us to let go of what he does not want us to have. In other words, God will show you a healthy Christian relationship, a marriage that someone else has, to remind you of what is possible if you would let go and let that relationship that you know God does not want you to have. I would never promise you that if you definitely the relationship you really long for and desire. What I can promise you, if you cling to what God does not want for you, he will always be outside of his will for your life. When you let go what God does not want for you, his life will always be better. Verse 1 through 5 proclaims, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is good within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget all your iniquity to his who crowns you with steadfast love and mercy, who satisfies you with good, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles." Now, I thank you for joining me, and I look forward to you visiting the Strategy Prayer Room, building relationships, and I pray that God would continue to bless you and richly favor you. Shalom.